No, but he's a builder at heart, clearly, and so his heart and his mind is always churning about how to improve things here on the White House grounds. But
Sure.
at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
The ballroom is the president of the United States. It's his main priority, right from the horse's mouth. The Christian horse's mouth. Farmers outsource to Argentina. Ranchers outsourced to Argentina. Groceries have tripled. People snatched off the street. But Christian Karen here is right about one thing. He has his priorities. And you know what credit is where credit is due. He accomplished something I never thought I would see in my lifetime. 24 years ago, radical religious zealots tried to fly a plane into the White House, and it was shot down, right? I'm from the 9/11 generation. I graduated high school as those towers fell, and the debrief we got after they came down, what America wanted to know in that moment was, why do they hate us? The Taliban was created through funds provided by a man who was elected because a generation grew up and they watched him on the TV.
Am I to assume this is a Taliban?
Yes, you are. Take a crap. Take a crap in those beds, old Ronnie. Those religious zealots that were birthed from the money, from the weapons Reagan gave. This week, I saw the leader of another group of religious zealots. Now, when 9/11 happened, I was straight out of high school, but the lesson I thought we were taking away from that is that religious radicalism, no matter who does it, is wrong. That was, in fact, not what the Republicans thought. The Republicans at that time were telling us that religious radicalism is only bad when it happens over there, when it happens with those people. But when it happens to them, that's just America, baby. That's just patriotism, you know what I mean? And if the news had any balls at all, it would sound a little more like this.
Radical Christians have destroyed the east wing of the White House. Crews are on site this afternoon after a group of extremists used heavy equipment to tear down a large portion of the building.
Trump and the extremists were able to do the thing that Osama bin Laden was never able to do. He never reached it. And this guy right here, who was also elected by a generation that watched him on TV. I'm seeing a pattern. Are you guys seeing a pattern? The symbolic destruction of the White House. It affected people I didn't even think it would. Chuds were kind of taken back by what he's doing to the White House. And it's because they lack any kind of critical thinking. It's actually the number one trait of why they're Republicans. But it's physical, right? They can see it coming down. They can see the pillars coming down. But when the pillars of our democracy come down, that's abstract, and it requires a thought process deeper than can be impixelated into a meme. I am the 9/11 generation, and the debrief of today, of what's happening today, of why they hate us, is because the president has granted permission for our own neighbors, for our own coworkers, for our own friends, for our own family to hate us.
There's a relative. Nobody's actually seen anything quite like it.
Nobody's seen anything like
I
it.
think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million. It's set to do many, many things, including meetings of foreign leaders, including the honoring of foreign leaders. You can see this. This is a plan. If it's got tables so
the
that
Jeffrey
you honor
Ballroom.
a foreign leader, we have a proper space. Right now, we have a space that with tables holds about 79 people.
79 people. He's like a little kid showing everybody that he wants to live in this castle. He says there's never been a ballroom like that before, but coincidentally, pure coincidence, there's one right there in St. Petersburg, Russia, right? And also, I don't know if you heard it, but he went from 200 million, that's how much it was supposed to cost, to 300 million. That's a 33% increase without anybody saying no. You can't have a 33% increase. You got to make it work. This is during a government shutdown. And like I said, this is when food prices are going through the roof. You go ahead and try to tell me that food prices are down, Chuds. Go ahead, because we went to the store this weekend and it was $450 for two of us. 2 people, me, my wife, and 2 dogs. It used to be at most $200. But this dude is adding, without anybody trying to stop him at all, another $100 million to a project that nobody asked for. How many farmers do you think are going to be there opening night? Nah, the farmers can't come in. They're icky. They're icky. The guy who bankrupted casinos, where's this money coming from? Does anybody ask? Where's Doge? Where's Big Balls? Why aren't they looking into where this money's coming from? It's coming from Snap. It's coming from feeding children. Oh, MAGA Mike, he sure likes to feed children. He likes to feed them to billionaires. And like I said, the symbolism is palpable. From what I'm seeing from even the dimmest people I know is that this is an awakening, right? Because this is very much the end of the republic. This is the end of our democratic republic. There will be a rebirth, 100%, and there's a good chance. It has an outside chance. I would give it a 10-to-1 chance that the government that will emerge from this will be an authoritarian Christo-fascist government. If anybody wants to bet me, 10-to-1 odds. I don't know what we'll barter for in the future. He is molding the White House. He is trying to mold this country. He is molding the government into his very image. Back in April, me and the wife went to France. We went to Versailles. I ate too much shellfish. I got gout. But that's not what this is about. This is not an episode about my gout. Mary Antoinette and Louis XVI did not like being around the people they represented. Just like those farmers. They didn't like the ickies. Icky. They didn't want to live too close to the ickies. And if you're wondering if you're an icky, go look at your bank account and just take into account the fact that you had to ask if you were an icky and know that you are an icky to these people. They don't want to be around you. Oh, they needed you. They needed you this past election. As Trump said, last election we'll have, but they don't need you anymore because you're icky. And what we learned in France is why the people were starving and they were adding on to their houses. You know what I mean? The people didn't have it, but also those people weren't inundated with propaganda on their phones every 10 seconds. And you know what the French people did? They did what needed to be done. The American Republican is much too lazy. The American Republican is much too uninformed. The American Republican at their core is much too dumb for any of that. Back then it was cake, and now it's just Facebook slop on their phones. Different carbs, the exact same crash. The Chud Report.
Well, he's going to get a 3rd term. So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president in 28. And people just ought to get accommodated with that.